Hi, my name is Reed Silvern. The name of this show is Fed Pride. Reason it's called Fed Pride is because I'm a federal worker, retired, and proud of it. Let me adjust my sound. I am my own engineer. What we have here is a live to tape setup. Today for me, it's Friday, May 2nd. For you, it's probably Sunday, May 4th, or perhaps Tuesday, May 6th. Or you can be looking into the past through a window called a rerun or encore presentation, as we like to call it. So basically, I'm here on Fed Pride, and you might notice that there's a slight change of costume over here. Let me get this put on. And basically, what I have here is a polo shirt and a whole new look, and contact lenses, so my glasses aren't on. Whether this is going to hold or not, who can say? However, I have a media consultant and a virtual co-host whose name is Annie Mae. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call Annie Mae right now. Hi, Annie Mae.
Hi, Annie Mae here. Well, you've been trying something new?
Yes, I have. Can you guess what?
Look a little different.
Do I?
Did you get a new shirt?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Maybe you've been listening to me.
Maybe I have.
That's a surprise.
Well, it shouldn't be.
I'm shocked. But it's a blessing.
Okay.
Good thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Thanks.
Well, I see you haven't done anything about your forehead.
No, I still am shiny.
One thing at a time.
All right.
Ooh. Okay, well, let's have lunch.
All right. Can't wait.
Let's get together.
Let's do it.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Next time.
Okay, have a good one. All right, that was Annie Mae. She didn't have as much critical to talk about this time because I've paid attention to her. She's been suggesting that I either go all the way to being a wonk and put a bow tie on like Tucker Carlson, or go all the way and, well, it's not even that far, and try to get a little casual and put on a polo shirt. Of course, I didn't have any polo shirts, so I ordered them online. It took a week or a couple weeks to get them, and here it is. So let's see if I like it. It's all up to me, not up to her, and I'll go along with it. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, gas prices are going through the roof. Supposedly, it took a little slight drop in the last couple days. I haven't noticed it here in Tucson. Of course, we didn't go up as far as some places. California was showing 360, 370 unleaded regular gas. East Coast probably even higher, and of course here in Tucson, in the cheaper gas stations, the regular leaded gas, unleaded gas, been about $3.35. But I've noticed the diesel's been almost $4. So what has this done? In a normal world, demand would go down as the price goes up, especially if the price goes up without any real basis as it has. Has that happened? Well, it is beginning to happen. And there's a major article here in the New York Times that the small cars, the subcompact, the four-cylinder cars, the market for those is going up and up and up. The market for the giant gas-guzzling, super-duper, in fact, I'm going to put Detroit up here, for those super-duper giant four-seat, two-door super trucks, heavy-duty trucks with those big giant beds that when they take a parking spot are 30 feet long. Those are going down. Those are going down very fast. So it had been that the market for the subcompacts were about 12% of the market. It's gone up to 20%, and it's flying upward. Why? Because people are sick, and I repeat, sick and tired of being gouged, and they consider themselves gouged. And there's sources of this gouging, but no matter what, people consider themselves to be gouged. I noticed I get the New York Times, other people get other papers, but the New York Times, for good or ill, no matter what Fox News says, it's an opinion leader. So different companies try to influence opinion. And I've noticed big giant ads all over the New York Times, especially in the editorial page, and also the Wall Street Journal and other opinion-making papers. We, the good people, the oil and gas industry, are wonderful for one reason or another. We're good people. Well, I'll tell you, if you have to buy a full-page ad to say we're the good people of the oil and gas industry, you must have some doubts about yourself. And of course, the good people of the oil and gas industry aren't putting those ads up. Those are the oil and gas industry associations. They're basically run by the executives of the major oil companies. The other one, the complete and total dinosaur of the oil industry, the member of the oil industry that considers their fight on global warming, coming up with new motor oil components to save gas. That's the best they can do. They don't invest in any solar. They don't invest in wind power. They're not like GE, which makes wind turbines. They're not like British Petroleum, which has these big giant facilities where they, in their oil or coal refineries, the sludge at the bottom is reused to make electricity, and then the carbon is put into the ground when there's a refinery, like in California. In fact, I'm going to call up Carson, California. Carson, California is right here on this coast south of LA, and I've been to it, or I've been driven by it. But there's a giant refinery over there. Capacity is always going up at it, and that's owned by, I believe it's owned by British Petroleum, but it could be Chevron. And there they have a facility that basically takes the sludge, which they would, I guess, used to throw out in the sea or do something with. They called it coke. The absolute dregs of the refining process, and they were reusing it and making electricity, and basically they ran the electricity for the whole little town of Carson that goes around it, a couple thousand homes, and Arnold Schwarzenegger came out there and so on and so forth. So basically BP, Shell, which is a major, created a new procedure to heat oil shale in the ground and really increase our reserves. Chevron, which bought a company that makes hybrid batteries. Those particular oil companies are trying to get ahead of not peak oil, but peak oil demand, and to try to at least look green. Exxon doesn't do anything. Exxon does nothing. They are the brownest, the least green company in the world, and I noticed they've been having these big articles, paid articles on the editorial pages, basically saying, oh, we're green because we produce motor oil. They had a whole series of ads like that. Then they have another one this last couple days where they say, oh, yes, we make obscene profits, $100 billion a year. We're going to invest $355 billion. Where are they going to invest it? Everywhere but the United States. They say, oh, but we're going to invest $75 billion in the United States. And what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to put a giant liquefied natural gas collection spot and a major port. Well, what are those? Well, liquefied natural gas is where they take natural gas from where? Oh, that's right, Iran, very, very friendly country to us. And they put it on ships. They cool it down to an incredible amount. I'm going to go all the way to the Middle East over here. And actually, it's the biggest natural gas field in the world is right over here. And it goes from Iran over to Qatar, which is this little country that kind of sticks out. And there's so much natural gas that they can't send it anywhere. The Iranians are trying to make a deal for their natural gas to send it through Pakistan, through the tribal area to India, and we'll see how that goes. And the Qataris have been trying to turn it into liquefied natural gas and get Exxon to bring it to the United States. Well, what those are, those giant terminals, I mean, this is, each one of these, I don't know where it is, I think it's in Galveston. Each one of these ships is just completely filled with a flammable frozen liquid, liquefied natural gas, 200 degrees below Fahrenheit 0. And what it does is this particular thing, somebody tries to blow it up, it'll blow up the entire port. So, and then the facility that basically takes it off the ships and puts it into pipelines are basically terrorist attacks waiting to happen. It is absolutely the worst idea for America. Exxon has been pushing it for 20 years. They've been almost completely unable to get anybody to approve it. And since 9/11, nobody, at least in the United States, and most countries in the world, will allow liquefied natural gas setups over there. So that's their solution to global warming and our energy problem. And then, of course, there's the good people of the oil and gas industry. Well, you know, I feel for the good people of the oil and gas industry. Years and years and years, I've been a federal worker. People are coming up to me and saying, "You're wasting money. You're no good. What's the problem with you?" And so on and so forth. Very, very common. And basically, I developed answers to it and tried to explain things as logically as I could, how the government works. But basically, the minute they heard government worker, blah, 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 as if I was responsible for all the ills of the government, which is run by Congress and the president, and ultimately by the people who elect them. Meanwhile, we have all the good people of the oil and gas industry. They're going, you know, they're making a salary, and their salary's probably not going up either. And they're working on as chemical engineers or as technicians or as just, you know, worker bees and people who answer the phone and accountants and so on and so forth. And they're going in there and people saying, "God darn it. Please forgive me over here. My gas bill doubled and it's a cheat and you're cheating me." And they're going to say, "Wow, I'm a good person. I work for the oil and gas industry." However, the fact of the matter is their bosses are cheating us. And even more so, the hedge funds and all the unregulated investors that invest in the oil and gas market, specifically my pet peeve law, which is the Commodities Modernization Act of 2000. Enron came in there and wrote an Enron exception, which they really didn't need to do because there were already exceptions for hedge funds, non-U.S. persons, companies registered overseas, funds registered overseas, and index funds already, which they probably could have done. And they wrote an exception that says that there will be no oversight whatsoever by the CFTC, by the SEC, by any federal organization on energy trading whatsoever. Natural gas, NOMEX, NYMEX, you name it. Completely unregulated. Anybody who wants to gouge, anybody who wants to force the price up, Anybody who wants to just buy and buy and buy and are dependent on an index fund that is dependent on the price going up. Anybody who wants to put together phony derivatives based on the price of oil and gas, go ahead and do it. No regulation, no reporting, and on top of that, no ability to audit any of these players. And everybody says, well, it's just the market. It's just the market working. Well, it's not. The market works in such a way that people know if they are getting value for their investment. And they know they're getting value for the investment because there is disclosure. So if you pass a law that says there will be no information put out, there will be no knowledge and no reporting going to the government as to how much you're putting into a market, whether in fact you're buying more futures contracts than there is oil out in the market at all, whether you're actually pouring money in for the purpose of pushing up that price. Or if you have an index fund, your investor is dependent on you to push up the price in order to make a profit on his index fund. All of this is done, and we don't even know what the scope of it is, except that we know over the last year and a half, the actual price of crude oil has gone from in the high 50s, $50 per barrel, all the way to topped up at 120. Now it did turn a little bit from 120 for half a day. It was back down to about 111, 112, and now it's been pushed up $3 in one day. Is there activity? Are sovereign wealth funds and hedge funds forcing money into that market to try to spike it back up? We don't know. Why don't we know? Because they passed a law giving a complete and total exemption to reporting and to being audited as to what they are doing in that market. So that's basically it in a nutshell. And what is the result? The result is that just the crude oil component of gas is over $2.50. The price of the gas itself, not the gas, but the gas that's bought by the distributors, went down from over $3 down to $2.90 or something like that. And of course, all the costs of shipping it throughout the country, any profit that the local gas station makes, and so on and so forth. That's all the difference between what had been $3.05 and $3.50, and in Tucson, $3.05 and barely $3.30. That includes the gas tax too, and then going down to $2.85. Then you have McCain's solution, and I'm not going to dispute it. I think it is a nice joke, and I think it's worth doing. Where he said this summer we are just going to lower it by 18 cents because we are not going to charge the gas tax. Well, I'll tell you, if the price of gas doesn't go down, the 18 cents that's forgiven on the tax holiday, if it goes back up during that tax holiday, people are going to be screaming. And the nice people who work for the oil and gas industry are going to get a knock on the head, and I'm talking about just a friendly, what are you doing, from the American people. Because that's going to occur this summer right before the elections. And I am telling you that if they do the gas tax holiday, I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea economically, because economically, if somebody's willing to gouge you and somebody is going to take a piece of your heart and eat it, like the oil companies have been doing, they are going to gouge that extra 18 cents. They're going to raise that price and take it as extra fee. But if it's the politicians that are giving us an 18-cent holiday, I'll tell you, the American people are going to be expecting that 18-cent drop. And if they don't get that 18-cent drop, there is going to be what I believe, at least as a partial solution, to tell the oil companies, you are going to start paying taxes. Right now, on oil that is produced here in the United States, there is a complete tax holiday on oil produced within the United States on federal lands and waters. Complete tax holiday. It's completely against the law even, but they forgot to write it into the contract. The agency that handles the offshore contracts forgot to write into the contract that when the price of oil goes up to above $34, something that is by statute law, but wasn't written into the contract. Well, I'll tell you, you don't have to write into the contract or into an employment contract, we're not going to harass women. It's illegal to harass women. It doesn't have to be in your employment contract. Similarly, they were supposed to start paying taxes if the price of oil went up above $34. I went to the Supreme Court, went to a favorable court. I forgot which one it was. I think it might have been Washington Circuit Court. And they said, oh no, if it's not in the contract, just because it's in the law, they don't have to pay. So certain Democratic congressmen and senators, Hillary Clinton is one of them, Caswell in Missouri is probably the one that's been pushing it the most, has been saying, I want a windfall profits tax against the oil companies. Everybody has been saying, oh, the oil companies are just going to raise the price up some more. Well, I'm telling you, if they are being taxed, what they really need to do is to have an 18-cent tax holiday and then a windfall profits tax against the oil companies at the same time. If they raise the price then basically, if I was king, I would every single pipeline, every single refinery, every single gas station would get an inspector in the next day, and every single dollar, from every oil company, especially oil companies that register overseas, are going to be audited, every single penny. And the CEO is going to be personally, and they are by Sarbanes-Oxley, responsible for every penny on that financial statement. So if they are cheating, even a penny, I want to see them in jail. And so do the American people. So the good people of the oil and gas industry are good people. But the good people who run the oil and gas industry are gouging us, are tearing our hearts out, and have absolutely no compunction about it. And so be it. In their opinion, that's business. And that's fine with me. Because if I was king, I'd do business with them the way they're doing business with us. And there would be 10 IRS agents and 20 SEC agents. And I don't care if they're registered overseas. And all of the exemptions from reporting. Anybody who invests in and owns a commodity pool, I don't care if it's oil, gas, corn, wheat, rice, have to come under complete and total supervision. All exemptions from oversight, from audit, will be hereforth, and I believe the Congress ought to do that today. Canceled. Absolutely. You are going to have to report every single transaction. I don't care whether you are Carlyle Capital Fund registered in Guernsey, England, or I don't care whether you're Exxon and you've registered a phony company out in Bahrain or Dubai. You are getting audited if you do business in this country. And you are going to have to show honest transactions on every single thing you do. And you are going to do that until you take action to reduce the price of the commodity, which is very easy for the oil companies because all they got to do is short oil futures. That's all they have to do. They have $100 billion a year of extra profit. They made $1 trillion over the last 10 years. And they have plenty of money to go and short it and to force that price down. They don't want to do it because it hurts them. My name is Reed Silver, and the name of the show is Fed Pride. Reason it's called Fed Pride is because I'm a federal worker and proud of it. And thank you very much for watching.